Imagine controlling your hunger naturally, using secrets known for, well, thousands of years, without harsh side effects.
That's exactly what we're digging into today. We've gathered source materials on ancient plant wisdom for appetite control.
We're looking at the benefits, the actual data, and plants from different cultures.
Right. Our goal is to pull out the key insights for you from all this material.
Let's begin with a really interesting one. Hoodia gordonii, used by the Sand people in the Kalahari.
Yes, this thorny succulent was vital for them during long, difficult hunts where food just wasn't available.
And the sources say chewing a piece made their hunger just disappear.
That's the description. Hunger vanished. But critically, their energy and focus apparently remained high. The craving, the need for food was gone.
Incredible. That knowledge must have been essential for survival.
Absolutely passed down generation to generation. And it was these observations, sand people on strenuous trips, not hungry, not distressed, that caught scientists' attention.
Which kicked off the modern research into how it works. So what did they find?
They managed to isolate the main active compound. It's a molecule they called P57.
And P57 works. Where? How?
It acts directly in the brain. In the hypothalamus, the region regulating energy balance. It basically fools your brain into thinking it's full.
So the brain gets a satisfied signal without any actual food coming in.
Exactly right. P57 boosts internal energy signals within those brain cells. Specifically, it increases ATP level cellular energy by up to 150% in some hypothalamic cell studies.
So that high cellular energy level is usually triggered by high blood sugar after eating.
Precisely. It mimics that signal. Tells the body enough fuel received, stop searching for food. It bypasses the need for glucose from food to send that message.
Okay, now the data you mentioned, what did the clinical studies show?
They're quite remarkable. Sources cite studies where people using authentic Hoodia extract cut their daily calories by an average of 40% over just 2 weeks.
40% is a huge reduction.
It is. Another study noted participants eating 1,000 fewer calories a day. And importantly, with no reported heart risks or cravings associated with it.
That mechanism sounds fundamentally different from many modern drugs, replicating a natural pathway.
It seems to be. Animal studies back this up too, showing P57 cut food intake by 40–60%.
And Hoodia wasn't the only plant used this way, right? The sources mention others.
Definitely. Traditional knowledge about appetite control existed elsewhere. In India, for instance, there's Kalahari Desert.
An edible succulent?
Yes. Historically used as a famine food and to suppress appetite. Studies suggest compounds in it can help reduce appetite and even waist circumference.
Interesting. Any others?
Also from India, there's Gymnema sylvestre, used in Ayurvedic medicine. Its effect is quite unique.
How so?
It contains gymnemic acid. This binds to the sweet taste receptors on your tongue.
So it literally blocks the taste of sweetness.
It does. Make sugary foods much less appealing, which can really help cut down sugar cravings.
So we have Hoodia acting on brain energy signals, Kalahari potentially affecting appetite and fat storage, and Gymnema targeting taste buds. Very different approaches.
It shows these cultures developed multifaceted strategies long before modern pharma.
Now let's contrast that with some modern options. Take Ozempic, for example. How does it compare?
Well, Ozempic mimics a gut hormone, GLP-1. It slows digestion, signals fullness to the brain. Effective, yes, but sources point out side effects like severe nausea or vomiting in maybe up to 20% of users.
And Hoodia trials?
In studies up to 15 days, no significant adverse effects were reported. At very high doses, maybe some mild dry mouth or dizziness, but nothing like the GLP-1 issues mentioned. The safety profile built over centuries of traditional use is compelling. The San used Hoodia for, well, potentially thousands of years without documented issues in that context. Modern drugs are much newer, long-term data is still emerging.
And the cost difference is pretty stark too.
Huge difference. Hoodia supplements might run $30–50 a month. GLP-1 drugs like Ozempic, often over $1,000 a month.
There was that story in one source about Frank Fletcher.
Right, the engineer who grew Hoodia from seed, tried a piece himself.
And found his hunger and thirst just gone for over a day, lost weight.
Yes, and now he's apparently sharing plants from his farm. It really brings that ancient practice into a personal modern light.
Okay, so summing this up, Traditional plants like Hoodia, Caralluma, Gymnema offer these distinct ways to manage appetite. And modern science is increasingly validating these mechanisms.
Correct. They present alternatives, potentially with fewer risks and dramatically lower costs compared to some current pharmaceuticals.
So here's the thought to leave you with. We see science confirming the effectiveness and relative safety of these ancient plant-based approaches. What does this convergence of traditional wisdom and modern validation suggest about where we should perhaps be looking for future health solutions?